You open their profile at 1:13 a.m. No posts, no highlights, no proof they were ever trying to be liked, and somehow they look more interesting than everyone who is. The grid is empty. No beach photo, no birthday dump, no concert clip proving they were there. Nothing to inspect, nothing to rank, nothing to hold against them later. 10 years ago, that might have looked suspicious. Now it can look powerful. The person with no feed seems to have done something almost indecent. They escaped the need to prove they exist. Ofcom reported in 2026 that active posting, sharing and commenting among UK adult social media users fell from 61% in 2024 to 49%. But 97% of 16 to 34-year-olds still use social media. The room is full. The stage is quieter. That is the mystery. This is the first correction. Young people did not simply leave the internet. In the European Union, Eurostat found that 89.3% of 16 to 29-year-olds used online social networks in 2025. The disappearance is not numerical, it is architectural. Pew Research Center found the same split in American teenagers. Snapchat is where many teens message. TikTok is where many teens watch. Instagram is somewhere in between, part window, part hallway, part evidence locker. The platform matters because each room asks for a different self. Among US teen Snapchat users, 57% message daily. But on Instagram and TikTok, daily posting or sharing is about 2 in 10 or fewer. The young person is still online. The young person is less publicly available. Contact remains. Exhibition weakens. Ofcom's children's research in 2026 put it bluntly. Among UK 8 to 17-year-old social media users, 65% mainly read, watch, follow, or like. Only 34% mainly share, comment, or post. Consumption became the default posture. Creation became a riskier posture. The feed was once sold as self-expression. Then expression acquired a production schedule. Which picture, which angle, which hour, which caption, which version of your friends will approve of this version of you. The post became a tiny public relations department. The main feed did not die because people stopped wanting attention. It died because attention started feeling like evidence. Every post asked the same quiet question. Will this still look harmless when the wrong person finds it? In 2019, Joanna Yao and Stephanie Reich published focus group research on adolescence and self-presentation. Teens were not just posting randomly. They were trying to appear interesting, well-liked, and attractive. Some even asked friends to help them choose. The audience had entered the drafting process. The old internet had rooms, a school room, a family room, a weird forum under a username nobody could connect to your face. Social media compressed those rooms into one bright rectangle. The walls came down and everyone called it connection. Alice Marwick and Dana Boyd call this problem networked privacy. Privacy online is not controlled by one person. Other people can tag, share, screenshot, remember, and move your image into a new context. Your boundary is only as strong as the network around it. That is why the feed feels like a glass room. You choose what to place inside it, but you cannot choose every person who will look through the wall. Control exists at the moment of posting, then begins to leak. A joke meant for 6 friends can be read by a parent. A photo meant for the summer can be found by an employer. A caption written for a mood can become a personality file. The same artifact keeps meeting new judges. Context collapse is the technical name. Different audiences that were once separate arrive at the same post. Friend, ex, teacher, boss, stranger, future self. They are all standing in the room at once. No sentence can be relaxed in front of that crowd. Zillick and Riesmeyer interviewed German Instagram users aged 14 to 19. They found self-presentation was negotiated through personal norms, peer norms, and distant reference groups. The teenager is not only posting. The teenager is solving a social equation. Treem and Leonardi named the affordances that make the room dangerous: visibility, persistence, editability, association. A post can be seen, changed, connected to others, and kept alive longer than the feeling that produced it. The platform gives the moment a longer life than the person intended. So young users built smaller rooms inside the larger room. Finstas, close friends, private stories, spam accounts. The language kept calling them fake, but the social function was more honest than the name. A fake account solved a real audience problem. In 2022, Christopher Darr and Aaron Das interviewed teen friend groups about Finstas. The title of their paper gives away the paradox. The fake one is the real one. That title works because it names what users already felt. Their participants had much larger main Instagram audiences than Finsta audiences. The main account was polished. The secondary account was smaller, messier, and more emotionally usable. It had fewer witnesses, so it could carry more truth. Size changed what could be said. The public account was not false because teenagers are shallow. It was false because the room was too crowded for truth. Authenticity online does not mean revealing everything. It means revealing the right thing to the right people under conditions where the revelation will not be punished by the wrong audience. The secret is not secrecy. It is audience fit. That is why Close Friends feels different from the grid. The green ring does not only hide the story from strangers, it tells the viewer they were selected. Privacy becomes intimacy. The audience is not just smaller, it is chosen. Once you understand that, zero posts stop looking empty. The empty grid can become the outer wall of a house where the interesting rooms are somewhere else. You are seeing the fence, not the party. The real cultural question is not where people went. It is which door they walked through. Public feeds became the glass room. Group chats became the back room. The internet did not lose its noise. It changed acoustics. Pranav Malhotra calls these bounded social media places. Private messages, private groups, and other low-visibility spaces inside platforms. Not outside social media. Inside it, but harder to watch from the street. They are architecture, not afterthought. In interviews with 35 users, Malhotra found that these spaces discourage visibility because people trust known audiences and use mechanisms that manage who can see what. They also encourage personalization. You send the joke to the 3 people who understand it. You send the screenshot to the 1 person who knows the backstory. Relevance replaces reach. The point is not maximum audience. The point is correct audience. And they encourage continuous conversation. A feed post is a performance with comments underneath. A group chat is a room that never entirely closes. The joke from Tuesday is still alive on Friday. It has memory, rhythm, and unfinished business. This is why the public internet can look dead while culture feels faster than ever. The meme is born in the back room, tested in the chat, then only sometimes carried into public. By the time strangers see it, the real conversation may already be over. The group chat has no thumbnail, no public-like count, no searchable archive for strangers. It is social but not easily monetized as a personality display. The feed used to be where you proved you were having a life. Now the back room is where the life is processed, joked about, judged, and remembered. Zero posts became a status symbol because everyone else was still auditioning. The blank profile sits outside the casting call. This is not always conscious. Some people are private because they are anxious, some because they are tired, some because their job requires caution, some because they never liked posting. But culture does not read only motive, it reads signal. A polished feed says, "Here is my proof." A blank feed says, "You do not get proof." That refusal creates a small imbalance. The viewer wants evidence. The profile withholds it. Curiosity grows inside the missing information. Status often works through scarcity. The expensive table is hidden behind a door. The best party has no public flyer. The person everyone is curious about is not giving the crowd enough material. The less available object can start to feel more valuable. That is the strange power of the empty grid. It converts absence into aura, not because the person is better, but because the platform cannot flatten them into a quick judgment. The viewer has to imagine instead of consume. The influencer has to be legible. The zero-post person can stay ambiguous. Ambiguity is uncomfortable, but it is also magnetic. The mind keeps trying to finish the missing profile. Mystery is attention without giving the platform inventory. In a status economy built on visibility, invisibility can become a luxury good. Not being readable starts to feel like having somewhere better to be. The blank profile whispers that the real life is not on display. This is the sharpest part. The blank profile does not reject attention. It rejects the cheapest form of attention: public measurement, the like count, the archive, the stranger's right to inspect. It accepts curiosity but refuses the scoreboard. Platforms are built to reward what they can see: watch time, likes, shares, comments, saves, follows. The machine cannot value a conversation it cannot measure. It has no metric for a friendship that stayed private. So it rewards the public self for becoming more legible: clearer niche, clearer face, clearer emotion, clearer hook, clearer proof that you are a category worth serving again. The machine prefers a person who can be sorted quickly. That pressure does not require a villain. The system only has to count. People adapt to what gets counted. The glass room fills with objects designed to survive counting. Eventually, even spontaneity learns to pose. Then the back room becomes attractive precisely because it is less countable. A bad joke can stay a bad joke. A half-formed thought can remain half-formed. A person can exist before becoming content. That unfinishedness is the rare thing. There is a reason the empty profile feels cleaner than the overbuilt one. It has not been optimized into a sales floor. There is no visible funnel from personality to performance. It does not ask you to buy the self. Of course, the closed door can itself become a performance. Mystery can be staged. Refusal can become branding. The internet is very good at turning exits into styles. Even anti-performance can become a costume. But even then, the desire underneath is real. People are trying to recover a place where the self can be unfinished without immediately becoming evidence. A place where a person is not yet a profile. The back room is not innocent. A private chat can protect intimacy, but it can also protect cruelty. Rumor moves faster when nobody outside the room can see the first version. Privacy lowers visibility. It does not guarantee kindness. Screenshots make every private space semi-public. The door is closed, but the wall has cracks. One person can still carry a sentence into the glass room and let everyone watch it burn. The back room is safer than the stage, not outside consequence. Private spaces can also become small kingdoms of exclusion. Who is in the close friends list? Who got removed? Who saw the story and who only heard about it later? Privacy creates intimacy, but intimacy creates borders. So the answer is not to worship disappearing. The answer is stranger. The public feed became too public for the ordinary mess of being a person. Ordinary life needs some opacity to stay ordinary. Return to the profile at 1:13 a.m. The grid is still empty. You still know almost nothing. But now the emptiness has a shape. It is not the absence of social life. It is the refusal to display it. Somewhere there may be a group chat, a private story, a half-funny voice note, a photo too ordinary for the grid and too specific for strangers. The life did not vanish. It moved rooms. The proof is missing because the proof was never meant for you. The coolest person online is not offline. They are just unavailable to the part of the internet that needs them measurable. The empty grid is not always mystery. Sometimes it is fear, boredom, caution, or nothing at all. But in this moment of the internet, it carries one quiet message. The internet did not become less social. It became less public. Claymind may have overthought this one, but if it made you think, please like, share, comment, and subscribe.